Ravens just finished day 8 of OTAs. Mike Green had the play of the day with an interception. Sanoussi Kane also had an interception. We'll go over all of the practice notes from today's OTAs. We also hear from Andrew Vorhees and Roger Rosengarten. All that and more in today's episode of the Flock Rundown.
Ravens Flock. Flock Rundown is the place to be.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Before we get into today's practice, just want to thank you guys, man. We hit 10,000 subscribers. I know it doesn't really change anything, but it's a milestone, and we just hit 5,000 in January, so you guys are running this up right now. I'm not doing much different besides just staying consistent and trying to create the best Ravens channel, but you guys are going crazy with the support, man, and it means the world. I appreciate you guys so much. I said I would do a giveaway to one of the members when we hit 10K, so let's do that now. So I got all the members in this wheel. I'm going to spin the wheel and see who wins. Let's go. The winner is Carly. Congrats. Just comment your email address under this video, and I will email you from Ravens Flock Report, and we'll figure out whatever you want. You can get anything from the merch store that I just put up, or if you don't want any of that, I'll get you something from the Ravens store. So we'll do that. But comment your email address, and then I'll hit you up. Appreciate you guys. But let's talk some ball. Let's dive into day 8 of Ravens OTAs. Better attendance today than yesterday, but still not some of the superstars, including Lamar Jackson. The players who were not there today were Lamar Jackson, Rashad Bateman, DeAndre Hopkins, Emory Jones Jr., who's still dealing with the shoulder injury, Kyle Van Noy, Kyle Hamilton, Nnamdi Madubuike, and Awuzie and Bo Braid, who were both injured yesterday. Jake Hummel is back and is at his first Ravens OTAs after having a baby boy, so he's back. And Zay Flowers is also back today, but had his right hand / thumb taped up. Diving into the notes from today's practice, Leary and Cooper Rush handled the quarterback duties with Lamar Jackson out again. Leary's best pass was a 30-yarder down the left sideline to Dayton Wade, who was well covered by TJ Tampa. Leary and Anthony Miller connected a couple of times. Miller had a nice diving catch for a 35-yard gain right in front of some of the Ravens PSL owners. In an 11-on-11 period at Ravens practice, Sanoussi Kane made a nice end-zone interception on Cooper Rush. John Hoyland handled the kicking duties today and was perfect, 6 for 6. He was good from 49, 46, 49, 52, 37, and 48. And then the play of the day was from rookie Mike Green, who sniffed out a rollout pass by Devin Leary and made an athletic interception. Mike Green continues to flash as much as he really can without pads on. I mean, as a pass rusher or any type of lineman, essentially, OTAs is not where you're going to, shine and get your best work done, because you got to have contact, you got to have pads on to really see what you're about. But Mike Green's making as much impact as he possibly can, getting an interception today. Sanoussi Kane also had an interception today, and his role, if we don't sign a veteran, might be bigger than he ever expected. I mean, I think he has all the opportunity in the world with Ardarius Washington tearing his Achilles, and then this unknown Bo Braid injury. I don't know the severity of it. We haven't heard from John Harbaugh, but it didn't seem great. Awuzie is not in practice either, but I do think his injury is just a minor ankle injury that he just got wrapped up, and he's probably just taking a day or two off. But definitely concerned about the Bo Braid injury. We'll see where that is, but the opportunity is completely there for Sanoussi Kane. I mean, right now we got Malachi Starks, Kyle Hamilton, and Sanoussi Kane. The safety room got a lot thinner with some of those injuries, so I wouldn't be shocked if we sign a vet if Bo Braid is seriously hurt, or regardless, maybe we just bring in a vet anyway. I do think because of these injuries, safety depth is now probably the weakest position on this roster. Not our safeties, we obviously got Starks and Kyle Hamilton, but just what's behind there. It's definitely very thin all of a sudden, and it wasn't looking that way a month ago when we had Ardarius Washington and Bo Braid healthy and Sanoussi Kane. I know they've been playing Jalen Armour-Davis a little bit at safety. We'll see how that works out. but I'm not against bringing in a veteran at that spot just to kind of solidify things a little bit. But I also want to see Sanoussi Kane get all the opportunity in the world. Like, maybe this dude runs with it and plays Ardarius Washington types minutes and has that type of impact. We know he can hit. You know what I mean? I could see Sanoussi Kane out there hitting and causing fumbles like Ardarius Washington was last year. So rooting for Sanoussi Kane. We heard from George Warhop, who's the offensive line coach today, and he said that he does not like rotations on the offensive line and wants a clear winner to step out in front at the left guard competition. And he did admit that the left guard competition is between Andrew Vorhees and Ben Cleveland. I do think Andrew Vorhees is in the lead to win that job just because he won that job last year in his rookie season. I know he got hurt and then McCary came in and replaced him, but the competition in the offseason last year, the winner at left guard was Andrew Vorhees. So I don't think that edge is gone in year two. I do think he's going to come back and even be better. So it's going to be really on Ben Cleveland to rise his level of play to another level and become that clear front winner, or this job's Andrew Vorhees. But it is interesting to hear Warhop talk about not wanting to rotate. He does not like rotations, and I don't mind rotations, especially early on, but I do understand what he's saying in the regular season, because you want to build that cohesion with one unit, and guys are going to get a lot better if they're not being rotated in and out. But early on right now and into the preseason, we kind of need some rotations because you want to get a good look. Last year, we didn't even get a good look at Ben Cleveland at either guard spot in the preseason. They ran him at center. So I want to see Cleveland at left guard then, if this is a real competition. Keep Cleveland at left guard. Let's see him out there in the preseason all through camp and have a real competition here that's going to rise both of their level of play. Warhop also said that rookie Garrett Dellinger is getting some center snaps, so he might be some versatile depth for center and guard. He can kind of play all over. There's been a struggle with false starts throughout this offseason. I talked about this, I don't know which OTAs practice it was, but it was whenever Todd Monken spoke and somebody asked him, like, you guys had 6 false start penalties today, and he explained that was because they're not just going on one. He's essentially making a complex cadence for everyone to follow, even the guys that aren't going to make the team, and therefore you're going to have more false starts because a lot of the guys that are messing up and having these false start penalties are guys that probably won't even make the roster. That's what Monken said. And then Warhop was asked about that today, and he just emphasized the importance of not having penalties. He said that the reduction of offensive line penalties by the end of last season was an emphasis from John Harbaugh. And then he added that there has been too many false starts in OTAs thus far. So I don't think it's a huge deal that there's a bunch of false starts. I actually really like the approach of mixing in early in the offseason more complicated cadences and not just going on one. You don't need to keep it that simple. It's actually pretty important for guys to screw up now so that they're not screwing up in the regular season. So I don't mind that there's false starts right now in OTAs. This is the time to have false starts. This is the time to be screwing up. And then, even by the time the preseason gets here, training camp gets here, I think everybody will be much better for going through some mistakes right now. Andrew Vorhees spoke to the media today and spoke on this left guard competition, and he admitted that there's an open spot for grabs, and he said, why not me?
I always just want to go out there and be the best football player that you could be. To my perspective, it's just there's an open position out there for grabs, and it's up to somebody. And so why not me, right?
We also heard from Roger Rosengarten, who had an incredible rookie season. I know I'm hard on the offensive line, particularly the guards, though. I'm not hard on Roger Rosengarten, man. I am impressed with his rookie season. I think he had a phenomenal rookie season. I think that the Ravens found a gem in the second round, and Roger Rosengarten is going to be the Ravens tackle for a long time. Could even move to left tackle someday. I know that hasn't happened because we re-signed Ronnie. I'm happy we re-signed Ronnie. But even Roger joked today when Ronnie wasn't re-signed. He was like, oh, that left spot's looking pretty juicy.
And I was texting Ronnie and calling him every day. I was like, hey, man, left side's looking real good.
So Roger knows, too, because Roger's always played left tackle. I made a video earlier in the offseason, got a bunch of flack for it, saying that we could potentially move Roger to left tackle. But he's always played left tackle. I know he's doing well at right tackle too, but he can play both. So we'll see what happens in the future. It's not a big deal. He's going to be our right tackle right now. But he had a cool moment when he was speaking to the media today where they asked him about that Myles Garrett interaction from last year, the viral moment. He said, I know I'm just a nobody, but I'd really like to get your jersey after the game. And then Myles Garrett's like, you're in this league, you're not a nobody. I thought it was really cool, the perspective that Roger Rosengarten provided today on that talk.
When do you stop being a nobody?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think last year nobody was kind of a harsh word for myself. I'd much rather say I know I'm a rookie, but you know, just going into this year, you know, I'm going to play way more confidence. So going to go against a lot of good teams, a lot of good players. So I'm excited for it.
Did that response from Garrett kind of give you a feeling that you belong here and may give you that confidence for the rest of the year?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It wasn't only just Garrett. It was a lot of the other players, you know, that didn't get caught on film that you know, just had interactions with. So fellow offensive linemen and other defensive linemen throughout last season, you know, just stuff to build on.
But that's pretty much it from today's practice. We got 2 more practices this week, tomorrow and Thursday, and then OTAs are done. We got mandatory mini camp for 3 days next week, and then we have pretty much a month off until training camp, and then we're really kicking in gear, man. Training camp, preseason, regular season. We're only a few months away, and I can't wait, man. Let me know what you guys are thinking about everything from today's practice or just whatever's on your mind. Appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll let the greatest linebacker in the history of the game take us out.
Ravens Flock. The Flock Rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. The Flock Rundown. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.